You have seen a situation like this before, right? You go outside and there is holes in your screen. I put a piece of paper behind it just so you can maybe see it a little better. It can be hard to actually see the holes in the screen. But it can come from a lot of things. For some people, it's just bugs getting in. For some people, it's sticks or whatever, like clogging their way in and breaking through. For me, it is a cat or many cats that are often clawing, and they'll get in there and damage the hell out of it. And we don't want that. So all we're going to do today is patch this over. The best part of this method that I'm going to show you is it's very fast. Takes 3-4 minutes maybe if it's your first time using a glue gun. But you can get in and get out with it. If you look stuff up online, screen replacements, like you got to get a whole thing for your window, takes forever, costs a lot of money. I personally don't have time for that. So this is the easiest way to do it. You can do it for very cheap. You can do it very quickly. It requires just 1 or 2 basic tools that we're going to show you. This is how to patch that. The problem is when you look online, a lot of the screen replacements are telling you to rip the whole thing out and replace. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money, but this is a much faster way that takes only 3 things that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's or Amazon. It takes you about 5 minutes total, and it's very straightforward, so you can get back to enjoying yourself, enjoying your bedroom, enjoying your porch, and not worrying about getting eaten alive by bugs or anything like that. So the only 3 things that we need today are a glue gun, which I have here that's been warming up, a pair of scissors, and a screen. It's a very simple process that we're going to go through and show you. I have the glue gun warming up right now. You plug it in, you insert these sticks that come with it. You can buy more if you need more. Drop it in there, and it starts to warm up. But be careful, once it gets hot, you don't want to touch the tip. It'll burn the shit out of your finger. So you don't want to worry about that at all. So I have a little piece of cardboard here that we're having to catch the drippings. That's pretty much the hardest part, is just keeping your fingers away from it and making sure it's adequately warm. So as you need today, we got this DeWalt glue gun from Home Depot. This is a larger model. They also make smaller ones, so if you're doing more art projects and stuff, you might want to get one of those. But both of these work. This is nice because it's big, it sits in the hand well. It comes, there's a little stand here you got to engage, and the reason you want to do this is because it lets it drip. I have a piece of cardboard right here that I recommend using. If you look up here, it also comes with these packages. It's very intuitive. You put the glue stick like right into the gun, you plug it in and let it sit for a few minutes. Again, this is very important. You keep this here, piece of cardboard, nothing plastic because it'll melt, and you let it drip. As it heats up, some of the glue is going to cycle through the gun and it's going to collect here and drip. You don't want that dripping like right here. You don't want it dripping on your carpet or your floors. It can be really difficult to get out. So you're gonna want to keep something under it. Let that sit for 5-10 minutes. While you're doing that, get a pair of scissors. Scissors like these are great. You can use kitchen shears. You can use regular scissors. Just make sure they're sharp and pretty easy. These will cut through pretty simply. So it's not. This is the screen. They make them in a lot of different sizes. You want to get the smallest one if you just have a little, hole in your screen. If it's a bigger project, you might want to get more. All of these can go from Home Depot or Lowe's or Amazon. We got this screen off Lowe's. We got the DeWalt from Home Depot and the scissors from Amazon. But you can really get all of these anywhere. So I recommend probably getting all of them from the same spots. They get there at the same time. All right, so there's 2 steps to this process pretty much. The first step is going to be cutting out the screen the size you want it. So if you're doing a small thing, like if you just got a tiny little hole, you're going to want to measure that out. You can hold it against it or whatever. Maybe you make an initial cut and then refine it to smaller. We have a lot though, as we showed. Ours is about the size of a piece of paper, so we're going to use that as a reference. Generally, you can use a tape measure, or if you do not have one on hand, you can either eyeball it or you can put the screen up to the window and actually see. As you saw in our case though, it's the size of a piece of printer paper. So we're going to cut out roughly that size. So we're going to cut it out, and then once you have your piece of screen cut out, it's pretty straightforward, and we're going to show you that in a second, putting it over and patching it with this glue gun. All right, so we're gonna first tape this up. We got a bigger piece here, so it makes sense to tape it. So I'm gonna grab some tape here, which is just helpful to do, and I'll tape the sides because I'm gonna glue the corners. So it makes it a little easier for me to not worry about holding it in place while I'm using the glue gun. This is like a helpful extra step, especially when it's a bigger thing. This tape's not super sticky, but it's not going to matter too much because it'll just be there for a minute or two. Press the tape down, and now we're in place and we're about to start gluing. Just a quick reminder for the kids at home, this white piece of paper is not a necessary step. We're doing it because we're filming it. But if you live in an apartment, I don't want you to go out on your balcony, scale the wall to try to put a piece of paper behind it. So don't worry about it. It's just for your viewing pleasure. We have our glue gun here. It has been heated up properly and it's ready to go. The way we're going to do this, I'll explain it first, is we're going to get this glue popping. I'm going to glue it to the screen in place and then press the corner into it and let it stick. I'm going to do that to all 4 corners. And then if you want, you can also do it to the sides. Then you should be good to go. So I'm going to do that now. Another note as well with these glue guns, when you first start using them, you might have to pump the trigger a few times. Don't be afraid. Once it starts coming, it starts coming. And it hardens pretty quick, so you want to be pretty well done with it. But I see squeeze, squeeze, squeeze until you get a good glob. And then you press it down. Oh, got a little on my finger there. Press it down. And it'll string like that. That happens. Once it hardens, you can just kind of roll it off your fingers. It peels off. So don't worry about that too much. I'm going to do the next corner. You want to make sure with this one, you notice I did a little on the outside. You want to make sure you're kind of putting the glue further in so it doesn't seep out around it. That second one. And you want to do it about the size of like, when it's flattened, it should be about the size of like a nickel, I guess, something like that. It's not a huge deal. Our purposes, all we really need is dots on the corners. If you want a better seal, you can always do a smaller, thinner line. And if you notice, I'm not touching it with my finger because it's hot. I'm touching around it to press it in. And then the last one right here. And you press it in. Great. Right, so for our purposes, this is a fixed screen. We got the 4 dots here. We got this over top of it, and the screen is in a lot better shape than it was before. And that's a lot harder for bugs to get in, etc. When you're done, you can remove the tape, which may be harder than anticipated. Remove the tape. Tape, and when that's done, you're good to go. This guy's a bitch. All right, you're gonna see the final product. You don't want to take out any of the important stuff, but and you got a screen. All right, now we have a finished product. We got our screen in place. The glue has settled. You can pick off any extra strands, and you don't have to worry so much about your, bugs getting in, critters, etc. And you can wash, rinse, and repeat this pretty much as often as you like. A lot of little holes you got in your screen. So, if you thought this was helpful, a quicker, faster, easier way than maybe other videos, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a comment, and if you keep coming back, we will keep giving you little tips to make your house better, little tips to make your home nicer, and maybe easier or differently than other videos. Thanks for watching. This is Mason. He is the culprit, putting the holes in the screens, feeling shame. You won't look at it. This is the face of the hole in our screens. This is the.
He's a good boy.
He is.